Bitcoin's going to $100 million. I feel like we're being pulled forward to some sort of destiny that is larger than Bitcoin itself, because Bitcoin is going to be the capital of the world. The world at $100 million of Bitcoin is so vastly different from the world you're encountering today that it would make your fucking head spin. If there is a bull run in this year, it's going to come at the back half of the year, not the beginning of the year. Like, we as Bitcoiners see a 20% move and we laugh at it. It's funny to us. Scott Bessent, who's the new Treasury Secretary, saying things like there's going to be a new Bretton Woods, a global economic reordering, and Bitcoin is a rising store of value. That's the Treasury Secretary is saying that, okay? That's a crazy world that we're living in. I still am, I find it surreal from somebody who's been here for a long time that, like, you know, those type of people would just laugh at us, and now they're saying the same things I was saying 10 years ago, right? So it's very surreal, and I think if you can't see where it's headed, then probably you're just not paying attention at this point. And yeah, I mean, it's tough for middle class people or regular people or people, you know, and not because it's their fault, but because it's like they don't have time. They don't have time. You know, like, it's hard, man. You got to wake up and you got to get your kids to school and you got to fucking make your boss happy and there's so much shit to do in life. You got to keep your marriage good. You got to keep yourself in shape. You got to keep up with your friends and family. Like, there's so much stuff. And I don't blame them for not knowing how the fucking money works. It's confusing. And they use all these big words that make you feel stupid. And, like, we had to go and learn about this on our own. And, like, most of the people I've met who are in Bitcoin are people who had an abundance of time on their hand so that they could look into Bitcoin. Like, I've met people that are UPS drivers who are super into Bitcoin because they can listen to podcasts while they fucking drive around in the truck, right? And that's awesome. And I'm glad that they're here. But not everybody has that same abundance of time, and their mind is not free to think all day long. And it takes a long time to, like, come to some of these conclusions, you know? So I would like to help. I've been trying to help people for 10 years figure it out. And I've tried every tactic you could possibly try. And at this point, I'm just like, I'm here. If you want to ask me questions about Bitcoin, I'm here. And that's it. You all know I'm the Bitcoin crazy guy. I'm not gonna bother you at Thanksgiving dinner anymore. I'm not gonna bring it up when the football game's on. You know where to find me if you need.
Well, I mean, we came to Bitcoin, I think, in very different ways. I came with, a young family, wife, and kids in tow, with a corporate fiat soul-sucking job, but based in accounting and finance. Recognizing, like, I couldn't sell my soul to create the value I wanted to in fiat land. So I was just trying to get what I could out of it, which afforded me some time, maybe at my spreadsheet desk jockey job, to listen to pods, right? And I was looking for signal, and Bitcoin was, became a simple A/B test. I mean, if you have $65,000 in your 401k and that's everything you have, or 200,000 or 2 million, whatever it is, and you start realizing, like, I'm just not getting ahead, and I don't have this entrepreneurial pursuit yet. And Bitcoin, in a lot of ways, was an entrepreneurial pursuit for someone like myself. Just stacking sats was like building inventory that will appreciate. And I can save in this thing and be grounded in it, maybe invest and speculate in it, learn about it, and no one can kind of interfere with the bet. And everything in life is a bet, and started realizing, like, coming from a Keynesian American finance university background of diversification, like, whoa, wait, like, I'm supermarket shop, like, terribly shopping every week in my 401k. Like, a lot of people don't realize, like, they're buying a lot of shit every week anyway, and they don't know what it is. And do you have any conviction in it? Is this going to be your anchor if shit hits the fan? Do you have anything in life you can latch on to, believe in financially? I mean, I could believe in my wife and my kids, and we'll go homeless together and we'll be okay. But, like, well, what about outside of that? And I think Michael Saylor talked. I mean, like, so many people want to go through life not thinking that economics count or matter. They're above money. Money's evil, bro. And it's like, money's half the game of life, and if you fail at half the game of life, you fail.
Well, this is a question that always comes up for me anytime I'm feeling, let's say I'm feeling bad about the Bitcoin price, or I'm thinking I should take some off the table because the Bitcoin price is very high. I just think into what? What am I reallocating into? I'm going to
And for
reallocate.
how long?
Right. I'm going to reallocate in dollars, which inflate away to nothing. I'm going to reallocate into the S&P 500, which doesn't perform as well as Bitcoin. I'm going to allocate into gold, which doesn't perform as well as Bitcoin. I'm going to allocate into real estate, which doesn't perform as well as Bitcoin. So, like, what am I doing? I'm looking for a way to soothe emotional volatility, and I'm trying to do it by taking things from uncertainly optimistic to making them certainly pessimistic, because I now know how much money I'm going to make, but it's going to be a less amount of money, right? And so then I just come to this point where I just go, okay, well, you just need to stop being a bitch, deal with the emotional uncertainty within yourself, because this is a you problem, you know?
And play the hand when you want to play it. So meaning like I think of it as like if you want to buy a house with the money you have, and if it goes up or down a little bit, like buy the house still. If you want to go on vacation, these things, and if you want to not do those things to save up later, then do that. But it's just money at the end of the day, and you can't live in perpetuity for tomorrow. Even though it is very helpful to make some good decisions for tomorrow. Maybe thinking about that, like, can you talk about like the hardest, toughest bear market buy you ever did?
Oh yeah. Let me think about
I
that.
could cue you up if you want.
I know. Well, I have a couple of them, so I'm trying to pick the best one.
All right, you
Uh,
go first, and if it's not the same one, I'll tip you off.
yeah, yeah. So in 2015, I came at the bottom of the bear market, but I was fresh faced and new. So I was just like, "Hey guys, I'm buying Bitcoin," and people on the forums were like, "Why don't you kill yourself? Shut the fuck up." I was like, "Okay, all right, good talk. I'll see you later." And then in 2020, I was out of money. So I was just all in. And I just had to take that deval on the face. There was nothing I could do about it. I thought about mortgaging my home to buy more Bitcoin, and I was gonna, but my wife really, really did not like that idea. And I was like, you know what? I mean, I don't need to, I fuck it. I'll just not do it. I should have done it though. So let's see, in 2018, it was that was probably the hardest bear market buy, and I'd been saving up money the whole year. I had just had a new daughter, so my first child was born. My newborn child was on my chest, literally in the hospital. I was doing like kangaroo care, if you know what that is. If you're a parent, it's where they put the baby on your skin to skin contact. It's good for the emotional health of the baby. And so my wife was sleeping. My infant daughter, is on my chest, and I have a large amount of money I've saved up over the course of about 2 years that I'm ready to deploy. And Bitcoin has gone to from 6,600, where I had already deployed half, by the way, to down to 3,200. So I was down 50% on what I had already deployed. And I just thought everyone on Twitter was saying it was going to go to 800, 1,000. And I was just like, fuck it. And I just did it. And then you know, I had to give my daughter back to my wife because I was having so much emotionality surrounding it. And I went outside and just walked around the block, thinking I had ruined everyone's life, that I had just like ruined my daughter's future, that I had ruined the family's life, that I had wasted the last few years of my savings and money and effort, and that I was an idiot. I was probably going to lose half again. Uh, and then by the end of the walk, I had calmed myself down, and I was not thinking that anymore. But, you know, the point of that story is the best buys of your life are going to feel like total shit. They feel horrible. Like the other day, I have a small position of MSTU, and MSTU is levered MSTR, by the way. Don't do it. It's horrible. And so I bought some MSTU. I made a bad buy on that. I bought some near the top, and then I doubled down on it when it fell like half, and then I doubled down on it again, and then I was like, man, I'm getting fucking clobbered here. And then literally not yesterday, the day before yesterday, it had gone down like horrifically, and I remember thinking, fuck it, I'm just gonna buy some more. And when I did it, I felt like I had a visual of myself throwing money down a hole, and just being like, goodbye, like it's gone. And then literally the next day it went up 50%, So like the best buys of your life will feel so bad. If you make a buy on Bitcoin and you think to yourself, I'm a genius. Let's pop some champagne. This is all going to work out. Bitcoin's going to 100 million. Like, yeah, you're right. Like, eventually it will go to 100 million, but first it will probably go down 50% because you had the hubris to think it was going to all work out.
So you've heard Bitcoin is the new gold rush by now. As world leaders on all sides have endorsed it as the future of money, and now you're looking to get started, we'll show you how. It's actually easier than you think. First, go to your nearest Byte Federal ATM and turn your cash to coin. Byte Federal has over 1,200 locations around the country with the highest daily limits. Go to our website, bytefederal.com, to find the nearest ATM to you. Log in to any wallet, then create an account, deposit your US cash, and instantly convert it to Bitcoin. That's it. We are the only US manufacturer and operator in the Bitcoin ATM industry, and our US-based live customer service is second to none. Go on, give it a whirl, and don't get left behind. Click the link below.